I found out that what I've been sitting under for many years, not just this year, for 30 years, is not Hebraic worship. Whenever Hebraic worship is the shofar sounds, there's a gathering of Yahweh's presence, a gathering of Yahweh's word. Everything is gathered. It's alive.
Amen.
Amen.
Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
People think, well, I need song sheets. Yeah, if you wanna have repeat the words mentality, yes, you need song sheets. But how about getting into the prophetic and closing your eyes and getting into the Ruach and letting the Ruach minister to you without song sheets? We got to do things differently. So with our finances and with this and with that and with this and with that, we've done everything and we still have not sometimes gotten the results that we're looking for. How about blowing the shofar to bring your children back off of drugs, to bring your cousins and your brothers into a restored relationship with you? How about using the shofar? We think of the shofar as something the rabbis do in the synagogue. We think of the shofar as something that the trained professionals do in synagogue, but not at a picnic, not at a public park, not at a Marlin game. Really, take your shofar to a Dolphin game and see what happens. The players will stop playing. The referee will be so confused, and the presence of Yahweh will come into that stadium that I'll bet you even the referee will look up and see what's happening. Such is the power of the shofar. It could, in my opinion, you could try it. It could stop a professional game.
I would love to try that. Seriously.
I'll tell you what. I blew the shofar one time in my backyard, and I heard at least two neighbors, I don't know where they were from, maybe next door, down the street. What was that? Shemot 1960. And the enemy goes, oh, what's that? I can't stop scattering. You mean I've got to let Yahweh regather in that person's life? Yes. Blow the shofar for victory and gathering. Yes. Shemot 1960. Have it with you. Have one in the car and one in the house and one when you travel. I'm serious. I'm 100% serious. At night, you stall by the side of the road. You have to change your tire. You need someone gathered to you to help you for assistance. There were days where there was no cell phones.
That's
and what did you do in the days where there were no cell phones? You would blow that shofar, and it was dark, and people would hear a sound, and they would stop.
Amen.
Look at verse 16.
Same way the drum was used.
Rabbi.
Look, yes.
In verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Who blows the shofar?
Tell me.
Yahshua.
Only one person can blow that shofar that Israel will hear. No one else hears that shofar.
So who blows the shofar? Yahweh?
Yahweh.
Or one person?
One person sounds that shofar.
But it doesn't say in the text, though, does it?
It doesn't say it in the text. But he's called no one to blow the shofar.
When the shofar sounds.
When the shofar sounds.
Yeah, but he doesn't specify, does he? Who does he specify in this case?
He's telling Israel when they hear the shofar. He hasn't told anyone to blow the shofar.
That's true.
That's correct.
So, yeah, in this case.
Yeah. So who blows the shofar?
Yeshua.
It depends. In this, no, it depends. No. In this case, it could be Yahweh himself. Yeah.
Amen.
In this case. But there are other cases where we are to blow it.
Oh, of course. Oh.
Yeah. But then again, even if that's true, even if it's Yeshua blowing the shofar, and quote unquote we're to be like Yeshua.
Amen.
Quote, you know.
But that's the power of the shofar, that even he will blow it.
Oh yes, oh yes, no yes. We're going to talk. Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to talk a lot about that. A lot.
Off the shofar, yes.
Okay, that's true. Wow. But we know the shofars were like the thunder and the lightning, that and only the thunder and lightning can come from Yahweh. So in this case, it was definitely Yahweh shofar. The same shofar that'll be used when Yeshua returns.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
but again, yes. But in this case, now look at verse 16. It came to pass, same chapter, 19:16. It came to pass on the third day in the morning there was thunder and lightning, and this was the giving of the Torah, and a thick cloud upon the mountain, and the voice of the shofar exceedingly loud, so that all the people that were in the camp trembled. Again, lending clearness to what you just said. And Moshe brought forth the people, but notice that what I want to emphasize is 17 and so on. Moshe brought forth the people, the gathering, notice, out of the camp where they were what? Forbidden to meet with Yahweh. In other words, they could not gather out of the camp to meet with Yahweh until what? The shofar was blown. They stood at the foot of the mountain. Har Sinai was smoke because Yahweh descended upon it in fire. And the smoke of it descended as the smoke of a furnace. The whole mountain shook greatly. And when the voice of the shofar sounded long and became louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahweh came down upon Har Sinai on the top of the mountain. And Yahweh called Moshe to the top of the mount, and Moshe went up. And Yahweh said to Moshe, go down, warn the people, lest they break through to Yahweh and see, and many of them perish. Okay, so again, we are to use the shofar for gathering. Gather your finances, gather with your brothers, gather with your family. The things that the enemy has stolen, you use the shofar to gather them back. Don't just use vain repetitions. Don't just use idle words. Don't just use idle prayers. Let's start using one of the instruments of warfare. One of the weapons that we have against the enemy. This is one of the things that Yahweh has given us. And we think of it as something, okay, when we go to the brother's house, part of worship will blow the shofar. We should see each other in normal everyday life with a shofar. If you cannot afford one will be provided for you, I think.
Yahweh.
But by all means, get one. Get two. One for the car, one for the house. Use it as an instrument of daily life. Like we have toolkits with hammers and screwdrivers. Why do we take these toolkits with us? Because something could go wrong. Why should we carry our shofars? Something could go. From now on, I'm going to have a shofar in the car. I'm going to have a shofar when I travel. Sorry, Rivka. You're just going to have to lighten up on the cosmetics. I love when you look at me with those adoring eyes.
Just wait till Shabbat is over.
Shmo 20. Shmo 20. And no. My wife knows me. That was not a diss. No, she knows me. That was a loving love tap. Shmo chapter 20, verse 18.
As long as you're the one that carries it around.
The shofar, yes, correct. Firearm in one hand and shofar in the other.
Amen.
18.
Amen.
Shmo chapter 20, verse 18. And all the people saw the thundering and the lightning and the noise of the shofar. Now notice the language. They saw the noise. How can you see noise? How can you see noise? Shmo 20:18.
They saw
2018.
They saw the result of that. It's the wind. You cannot see the wind, but you can see the result of the wind.
Yes.
You cannot see the shofar, but you cannot see noise. You hear noise, but you can see the result of that noise.
Trees coming down, leaves,
The mountain shaking.
shaking.
See? That shofar sounded, notice, and the mountain smoked. Okay, now you may not be allowed to smoke in most restaurants, but this was one gathering where there was a whole bunch of smoking going on. All right, and guess who was doing the smoking? Yahweh Elohim was doing the smoking.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
And when the people saw Yahweh smoking, they do what you and I do in most restaurants. They change tables. They move back. Run. They moved away from the smoke and stood at a distance. As soon as we go into a restaurant, that's what happens to us. We change tables. Verse 19. And they said to Moshe, you speak with us, we will listen, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. Moshe said, fear not, Elohim has come to test you, that his fear may be upon your faces, that you sin not. And the people stood off. Moshe drew near to the thick darkness where Elohim was. See, the unbelief was afraid of the noise of the shofar, but the servants of Yahweh drew near to the noise.
Amen.
See, those who are walking fear, doubt, and unbelief, they will be frightened. They will think you've entered into the cultish realm and the world of the occult. But see, the people saw the noise of the shofar. Look, the people saw the thunder and the lightning.
Amen.
And the noise of the shofar.
They hear the noise.
Well, allegedly they heard the noise. But it doesn't say they heard it.